Okay, no kill survival day number 2, and it's the daytime. And if you're wondering what happened to the nighttime of day number 1, my iPad glitched and it just didn't save the screen recording. So, in the nighttime, I just stayed holed up indoors and I just built a little bit more of the nook. You can see just over the river. Um, Put down some wooden floors, some walls, some shafts for windows, a door. Didn't finish it. It's maybe like a third of the way done, half of the done just on the ground floor. But right this minute, I crossed the river just to get away from 2 creepers and a skeleton, lest they bust my farm up. So came back over to this side of the river, and now I'm just looking for wood again. Same deal, targeting the oaks because I need food. I'm down 3 hunger points here. And I also need wood because I want to put in a lot of fencing around the base. But the drops aren't so lucky today. There's an apple comes later, but right this minute, none. The grass hardly yields any seeds. I don't do a huge amount of grass culling. There's a zombie lurking on fire. He's just a hunk of burning love. There's a drowned on the other side of the clearing here. The drowned isn't doing much, so I'm just going to get a little bit more wood, and then I'm going to think about safeguarding the base. What we're doing here is baby proofing this base to make sure all the belligerent mobs stay off, stay out, and don't damage my property. Yes, my friends, it's a private property haven we are talking about. Fencing, colonizing, conquest. So, not a lot happening with the seeds. I'm a little bit distracted because I've got my little shack that I'm building. I've got I don't want to call it a farm yet, but I've got a few seeds down on the waterfront. And there's 4 sides, and the terrain is very uneven. There's trees, there's hills, there's water. It's like I don't know where to focus on first, but I eventually end up on this side, and this is where I start putting down the fence posts. Also at the same time I start putting down torches to light the place up. So lighting it up so the mobs don't spawn, putting the fence posts up so that the mobs cannot come into the base, right? Mobs, as much as I appreciate you, you're not very welcome in my base. So I'm taking away just dirt here on the outside of the perimeter to make sure mobs cannot cross over the fence, drop into my base. Taking down the birch, not because I want birch right this minute, but just because it's in the way. Get my crafting table, climbing up, continuing just to fence around. And this is just, it's a very just gut kind of feeling of like, how big is this going to be? It's not measured out. When I get to just to know there's a wolf in the neighborhood and he fancied a nibble on a sheep and so left me a little gift of some mutton chops and wool. Now, this is a vegan challenge, so I'm not going to eat the meat. But the wool I regard as, I feel like it would be an injustice, a disservice to the sheep actually not to use the wool. Now some people might think the same about the meat, but I'm not a meat eater in real life or on screen time. So, whatevs, dudes. Fence going up here, like I said, this isn't, yay, apple. This isn't measured out in any precise way. I'm just hoping that it goes round the whole base. And it does, but there's a good chance that at some future date I'll expand that fence just to create more space, to light up more space, and just make sure the mobs stay away from the farm. A lot of the work, a lot of the fun and the play in this kind of game is the beautification of lighting things and making a space that's more homely and interesting and feels safe. It's an interesting game that you've got all this capacity to build and shape, but as floral and pretty and plant filled and lush as it can be in the daytime, when the night comes, it's like we're into hell territory with death dealing mobs. And there was a skeleton just lurking in the woods there, so I ran indoors, closed the door. You can see a little bit of what I've built so far in terms of home, but here's the skeleton and the zombie have come to wish me a good night. Night night, skeleton.